Hello and welcome to the West Yorkshire Football Show. I'm your host, Stephen Downs, and today we've got another Huddersfield Town special. My God, you'll be sick of us eventually. We've got Mr. Callum Scott joining us once again, and he's had a very happy weekend since his other side, United of Manchester, have won in their Champions League sort of post-season trophy. So well done, Cal, on that. I know you're very happy. And we're also being joined by Zac Wood, who has gallivanted all over the planet probably in the last 5 weeks since we've talked to him. Great to have you back, Zac, on the show. Later tonight, we do have our roundtable discussion with all the lads. I think there's a few missing actually tonight, but I'll be back with Chris Bell, and I think Lewis is going to be on. And Cal's going to come back on as well to help us fill the roster. So cheers, Cal, for that. But there has been some breaking news, and it is regarding Huddersfield Town. That's why we're here to do a special. It's Michael Duff has been appointed as Huddersfield Town manager, probably 4 months after he nearly got the job apparently last time. So let's get into it. Please give a like and a share on the channel. Subscribe to the channel too. And if you're on Spotify, give us a reaction and a comment on there, please, too. Right, boys, but we'll get straight into it. I'll go to you first, Zac, because me and Callum had a belly laughing time the other day. Your initial reaction to Michael Duff becoming our new gaffer?
I mean, it's good that we've acted so fast, right? I mean, I don't think any of us expected it quite to be this fast. The way it's materialised, I think, 2 days since you did the last show where you were going through the odds. No one's even had a chance to place a bet, and here we are with a new gaffer. A 3-year deal. Does any of it expect him to last 3 years? I mean, it's pointless even advertising that now, isn't it, with Huddersfield Town? Might as well be 3 months. He knows the division. He's managed over 300 games. Would he have been my first pick? Probably not, but then maybe my expectations were too high, to be honest with you, Steve.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously watched the show back after you guys had finished the other day, and I think Michael Duff was probably, 5th on the list? I think there's probably 4 other candidates. Maybe 4 other candidates above him that I think we would have all chosen. I'm being negative, mate, and I don't mean to, but it just screams Darren Moore, doesn't it? I don't.
Oh, Zac, come on, you've been away. Be positive.
Mate, he got outdone tactically in a playoff final by Darren Moore, and you know, I don't know, mate. Look, I'm not going to write him off because he did well with Cheltenham, done well with Barnsley. Got some experience in the youth development at Burnley as well. But time will tell, mate. But I'm not overly infused, but I'm not also too underwhelmed. It is what it is, right?
Yeah, I'll before we come to your thoughts, Colin, I'll just quickly read the statement. Not in full, by the way, but just to give you a flavour of what Town have said. 45-year-old Duff has previously been in charge of Cheltenham Town, as Zac says, Barnsley and Swansea City as recently as last season, having departed the Welsh side in December 2023. His work with the club will begin with immediate effect, ready for pre-season ahead of the 2024-25 season. Chairman Kevin Nagle said preparations for the new season is critical, and we are excited to have Michael join us in good time for the campaign ahead. We have huge ambitions both on and off the pitch, and every discussion we have held with Michael has given us confidence that he has not only shares those same goals, but knows what it means to represent Huddersfield Town Football Club. I look forward to moving on together in the Sky Bet League One with Michael, who has a track record that speaks for itself at this level. Mark Cartwright also commented and said it was important we acted quickly ahead of the new season, and Michael's enthusiasm about joining Huddersfield Town was evident from our first conversations. Michael has a proven record of giving squads focus and direction within transitional periods, having succeeded with both Cheltenham and Barnsley within Sky Bet League One in the recent past, with Swansea City paying a huge significant compensation fee to hire him too. We are in a great position for the campaign ahead, and I look forward to seeing Michael get to work with the players when our pre-season begins on the field next month. Discussions regarding our off-field considerations are already well underway, with Michael brought in to our vision of the future, whilst contributing ideas and high standards of his own. Finally, Michael Duff himself said, as soon as discussions started with the club, I wanted to jump at the chance to be head coach of Huddersfield Town. Since leaving my last role, I've had time to reflect, recharge, and focus on what the new challenge I wanted to take on would look like. Whatever was to come had to be the right and good fit, and that is exactly what this feels like. I know that our supporters expect a certain level of commitment, desire, high energy, and passion from their play, and those are the high standards that I've kept for all my sides. My talks with Chairman Kevin, CEO Jake, and Sporting Director Mark have been incredibly positive, and I feel like we've been on the same page since day one. I know the club, the area, and the fans from having crossed paths in the past, but now I want to get to know them properly from the place of belonging, and above all else, I want our supporters to have pride in themselves again. This is a special club with a magnificent history and exciting future, so it's a real honour to have the opportunity to be part of this. I can guarantee that I will give my all for Huddersfield Town Football Club. That's what I'll be asking of my players too. And together, alongside our supporters, we have a pre-season and a campaign ahead that will be ready to attack. I mean, the statement, Cow, is quite positive outlook in rip-roaring football in League One, and we're going to score 100 goals in it.
If you ignore the bit at the start where I'm not sure who is actually saying it, it might just be the genuine faceless element of the football club saying that, you know, Michael Duff's the greatest man to ever walk, he can turn water into wine, etc. I actually do really like what he says, the man himself says there, especially about the players being sort of together, and it sounds as though he's not going to take any nonsense from the players. You know, he's got time now to settle in, get his squad decided, get players that he wants in the door, get players that he don't want out the door. And I think, like Zac said, it's a rarity to be sitting here admiring a bit of decent planning by Huddersfield Town Football Club, because it appears like we've gone out and got our man as soon as possible, and I think we'll be all the better off for it.
Fantastic. And yeah, I agree with that. I think, you know, the statement is positive. I like what he says, that he demands that of his team. I think that will, obviously actions will speak louder than words. And of course, we've had a lot of words over the last sort of, God knows how many years, 5 years. So let's see what the actions bring. But, you know, it's a positive statement. And I think what I'm pleased about, lads, is the fact that we've got on and done it early. The fact is that we've got rid of Andre Brian Wright, who didn't want to be here, and now we've got a chap that, by all accounts, has applied for the job about 100 times before. So he obviously wants to be here. Just before I come back to Zac, let's get some comments in. Chris, obviously, it's going to be on the show later, says, seemed like a solid appointment for the league with Cheltenham and Barnsley, and crucially, his recruitment was very good. Yeah, Bluebell Terrier says about the same sort of thing as you, Zac. Got outdone tactically in the League One playoff final by Darren Moore. Barnsley dominated the game and were a few dodgy decisions away from victory, which I kind of do agree with, really. I don't, watching that final, I don't think Sheffield Wednesday dominated the play, to be fair. But I understand, Zac, you've got a different view. Finally, we've got Simon Rogers here, who says, right man for the job. I wanted him last summer before Warnock came back. I feel he's the man to bring success back to the club. Zac, I mean, what's your sad to say? Your thoughts on that?
It's a copy and paste of the last 4 appointments, mate. We could sit here and we could have had this conversation 4 times over. It's all meaningless words, right? I mean, I'm going to get behind him. I'm going to back him. We'll judge him, come Christmas when we're hopefully sat top of the tree. And I'll sit here and I'll say what an appointment that was. Statements like that they fall on the bottom when he clearly got rejected 4 months ago by Huddersfield Town. So then the club then to say it's the man we wanted is a little bit ironic, but anyway. And to your point about us getting rid of Brighton Writer, we absolutely didn't get rid of Brighton Writer. He got rid of us. And Kevin openly backed him, saying that Brighton Writer was his man, and he would back him to the hill. And then just 5 days later, we've now appointed his second choice in Duff. So, yeah, I mean, look, I'm hoping that he has the summer to stabilise the club, which is exactly what we need. And the point made about this should have happened last summer is probably true. When Warnock left, it probably should have been a new man last summer that had the opportunity to do it, but it isn't, and we are where we are. I think what he will bring from a positive perspective is he looks like a man that's an honest guy. I think he wears his heart on his sleeve and he says it as it is, which I think is what we need. We've had too many managers come in and promise the world and deliver nothing. And I think he also probably understands the task ahead, right? I don't think he's blinded by what the League One needs. Personally, I don't think Brighton Writer football would have worked in League One. I think you do need someone that knows the division, and Duff knows the division. Do I think there was other people out there that might have bought a better brand of football? Yes. But we've got him. He's in the door. It's happened fast. As Callum said, he's got the summer to rebuild, get his own people in, and hopefully we can be sat here in 4 months' time with a few wins behind us and looking upwards.
Yeah, obviously, in terms of when I said about we got rid of Brian Wright, it's just that, yes, he obviously didn't want to stay. So, to my mind, as soon as he said, I've got to go back to Germany and think about it, he was never really the right man, was he? I mean, I don't really understand why some fans, wanted him to stay. I mean, I kind of said, well, if he's going to be backed, fair enough, give it a go. But I'm a little bit more enthused that we've got a manager that actually understands the division, has been in it recently, and apart from, what I would say was a bit of a dodgy playoff final that we are accustomed to ourselves, losing in the last minute and having a man sent off that wasn't really a red card. I think he's an all right manager. I agree. He's a bit of a Darren Moore in terms of, I'm not jumping off the roof in terms of with excitement, but I'm also not like down in the doldrums thinking, oh my God, what an absolutely horrendous decision this is. So I think we've got to. I know that I'm a bit surprised with like how negative you are that, but to be fair, you've made some good points.
No, I'm not negative. I'm not negative at all. I mean, I'll back him. I just think there was better in the market that potentially might have had a chance at getting. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Duff's not I'm not the right person to take us forward because we've got him in the door and it is what it is. I just think there potentially was better people out there.
Who did you want?
Honestly, I would have absolutely been delighted at Nigel Pearson. And I believe that we must have had a chance at getting someone like that, surely. Because I don't see Championship clubs screaming to get him in. But anyway, it is what it is, mate. And we've got him. And like I said, I'm hoping that, some of the comments that have been said about him, all the positive stuff, is proven right. And we have a solid start to the season.
Is there any worry, Callum, for his time at Swansea, or do we look at that as an anomaly about, a club that has played the same way since Roberto Martinez in 2000 and whatever it was for, and have played the same way for 20 odd years, and that just didn't suit his style and he didn't rub along with the fan base there, and we understand that from what happened with Darren Moore?
I think the best way to look at that is to look at his time at Swansea in the same way that any future employers of Andre Brighton Writer will look at his time at Huddersfield Town. Just sort of, it happened, it's there, but don't take it as a measure of what the man can do. Because you've got to sort of see this as Duff stepping back into a league that he's well known, he's well respected, he knows what players can operate where, what sort of budgets he's going to be operating with. And I hope that Town's budget will be a little bit bigger, a bit more bolsher than some of the other teams in that division. But, he'll know where to find the rough diamonds and things like that. So I think this appointment works for all parties at the minute because, you know, we need somebody that's experienced enough in that division to be able to help guide us through. Because League One is a tough league to get out of. Look at Sunderland and Portsmouth. Any number of examples you can bring up of supposedly big teams that have gone down and found it really difficult to get back up. So an experienced hand on the tiller is going to be a good thing. I just hope that, you know, because there will be a point where the going gets tough, maybe we can stick with him a little bit more. There can be some more cohesion at the club, because the thing that's derailed our seasons consistently is almost a constant flux of different training styles. The players being asked to play in different areas. You know, let them have one set style and let's see what we can do.
He does come across as a bit of a no-nonsense sort of chap as well, to be fair. Like, from his interviews that you've seen before, how he sort of handled people at Barnsley, you know, I feel that he's got that in him, where you look at other managers that we've had and that they really haven't, and they've crumbled and, you know, been a bit weak. I get the impression, Cal, that he'll be quite sort of a domineering voice within the dressing room, and so it should be him being the manager. You know, he's not a head coach; he's a proper manager.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what some of these players need. Even I know we say about the bad eggs or whatever will probably be hitting the road in summer anyway, but I think the young lads around the dressing room needs just somebody to sort of guide them into the right direction and say, look, lads, you're at this football club, you know, I will give you the chance, but you've got to work hard for it, and everyone's expected to do the same for the team, you know, pulling all in the same direction. Let's have a bit of that rather than, you know, I'm hoping it's going to be chalk and cheese compared to the absolute nightmare of a season that we've just come off.
Zach, we haven't really caught up with you since relegation was confirmed, but just looking back on everything that happened really in the last few weeks, I mean, what were the emotions that you went through with things that happened both on the field and off the field, with particularly how, you know, Andre came out and said what he had to say? And really, do you feel, because I felt, and me and Cal had a good discussion about this on the other day, has Andre been a bit cowardly going, not taking on the challenge, or has he just looked after himself and thought, well, I just can't be bothered with League One. It's not my level, and I don't need to prove to anybody that it should be my level.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Brighton right appointment was probably the right person, but the wrong time.
Yeah, we said that.
I think, you know, maybe if he'd have come in last summer, maybe would have been better fit. You know, looking at his CV, obviously he's used to being at the top of the table as opposed to the bottom. And I think it's hard to come in with 13 games left and expect for him to implement his style. So, but that begs the question, right? During the recruitment process last time, what were the expectations laid out if we did go down? You know, because that was a genuine possibility when we recruited our manager just 3.5 months ago, that we'd find ourselves in this situation. But yeah, I mean, look, if somebody comes to me at work and says, you know, if I'm down in the dumps, or if I've got for example, I'm working on something that's not what I want to work on, and someone comes to you and offers you an opportunity to work at a higher level, you're going to take that, aren't you? And you've got to look after yourself. You know, he's got one career as well, just like the players have. So I would never blame a manager for wanting to work at the highest level possible. So fair enough.
What did you make to the bad eggs comment and that sort of whole scenario that has seemingly played out in the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it suits his agenda, right? I mean, if he's trying to protect himself and protect his own CV, it's easier to deflect and blame on other people rather than take responsibility. He did in some of his comments, he did allude to the fact that, you know, he might have done things differently had he have got his time again. So he's not fully deflected from taking the responsibility. But, you know, look, we know the squad's not been good enough. We could have all sat here this time last year and said the squad's not good enough, right? It's simple fact. I don't think that's new news to anyone. But the fact that he called certain players out that he's played for 11 of the 13 games whilst being in charge, he's a little bit cowardly. And And all it does is ultimately it lowers their market value when we come to sell them, doesn't it? Because these people, these players that he's called out, and I'm not going to name names, but we all know who they are. They probably lost a percentage of the value because the market now knows we're wanting rid of them. So it's disappointing, mate. And again, it goes back to hiring a manager at the time that like I said, probably the right man at the wrong time. And what is interesting, just moving on, Steve, and trying to look forward, my overall emotion, mate, was disappointment. Sad day for Huddersfield Town when we didn't do what we needed to do at home to Birmingham, but we never looked like winning, did we? In all honesty, we had that quick flurry after half time, but other than that, mate, it summed up the season. Small spells of good stuff and the rest of it absolute dross. But looking forward, I mean, the fact that we've now got Duff in as manager as opposed to coach, to me, is a big change, a big shift in our approach. And the previous 3 coaches, all the power's been given to Mark Cartwright in terms of recruitment. But I think now bringing Duff in as manager means he brings his own people in around him, hopefully. And also he has a lot more of a say in the recruitment, which clearly could be better, could have been better.
Yeah,
hopefully will be better.
To really quickly jump in and not to ruin anyone's party, but Michael Duff his official title is head coach.
Oh, sorry, I was just going off back of what Steve said about manager, so I take that back then. So again, begs the question, right? So he's not going to recruit his own players. He's not going to have a say. He's not going to have a say in which staff come in alongside him, and it's just rinse and repeat, then, isn't it? So there's me bubble burst again. Cheers. It's just the same stuff, isn't it? Same model.
I was surprised that when I saw that it was head coach, because he strikes me much more as a manager sort of figure.
Yeah, and
it does me as well.
I was jumping on what Carl said about him being manager, so I was just presuming, but that's.
I think you mean me, but I just jumped on the fact that I just jumped on the fact that I thought it would be manager. But anyway, we've only got 5 minutes.
How's that leave you then, Stephen? Now feeling about the fact that he's coming in as coach again. So you're really positive about the appointment as manager. What about the appointment as him as a coach?
No, I'm still positive, because I don't see how you can. Surely he's not going to come here and he's not going to not have an opinion on who to sign. Like that, the club has always maintained for the last 20 years that whoever is in charge of the team, whether it's a head coach or a manager, that they have a final say on players. Now, whether you believe that to be true or not, or even know if it's true or not, that's up to you. But I'm still going to be positive and back him and give him a chance, because, I was the same with Darren Moore, but I quickly worked out after 3, 4, 5 games that it wasn't going to work.
No. Yeah, my question wasn't around backing Duff. I mean, what about the approach from the club more, Steve, about going down that same model again? Because, like you talk about there about the manager having the last say. I don't believe that Bojan Radulovic was a Darren Moore signing.
No, I don't think it was. No, I don't think it was.
So funny.
No, I don't think it was. I know what you're saying, Zach, but I'm trying to end the show with a positive. I'm trying.
I absolutely agree, mate. I absolutely agree, mate. It's just you do the same thing, you get the same result, right? That's my point. You go down the same head coach route. Is the destination going to be different? I'm not sure.
I feel like I've set a cat amongst the pigeons here.
No, it's a great topic though, Cal, because it is something that
we will all go in a positive direction, right? And then I come in with, well, actually, he's head coach, and that's it. It's gone. Oh, get him out.
Bang. No, not all. I mean, like I said,
Michael tomorrow's headlines: Michael Duff resigns from Huddersfield Town Football Club.
No, I mean, look, we'll all back him, won't we? We'll all sit here and absolutely back him. Of course we will. Like, we've got to now. This summer is massive for this football club. Like, genuinely, you've got most chance of bouncing back the season you get relegated. That's a fact from any division. So we have to back him, and I'm sure he'll do a terrific job, and we'll be sat here at Christmas, top of the table, having a great good giggle, and maybe even having a couple of cans of lager together. But
come on, bring it on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so. We'll end the show here. It's been a quick half an hour, but the boys have got to go off and have some tea. And we'll be back later at 8 p.m. with our roundtable discussion. Cal's going to be back to give his reaction to Michael Duff. More reaction on
in
board.
bed.
Zach, cheers for joining
Nightmares
us, mate. It's been good to have you on, mate. Thanks very much. We look at some comments. We've got here Terrier 930. Biggest concern is whether Duff's going to move to Huddersfield. I'm sure somebody's sorted him with a flat in Brighouse. You never know. We've got John who has put, hopefully we can hold on to Helic. Yeah, we'll see about that. Not too sure. And Simon again put, should have a good budget to spend in League One. Well, let's hope so, Simon. Let's hope so. Cheers, everybody, for joining us once again. Thanks again, Zac and Cal, and we'll see you at 8 p.m. For the roundtable discussion. But for now, we leave you with the fact that Michael Duff is Huddersfield Town manager, and we'll see how he gets on. Head coach. Head coach. Sorry. Okay. Assistant coach. Right. See you later, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.